Better late than never. This is episode 12. Hey there, my name is Tanya Stephenson and I am an independent author located in Canada. Lately, I've been struggling to keep up with my YouTube channel and my podcast. There's just a lot going on in my personal life, so things like recording this episode have been moved to the back burner. I fully intend to keep both going, of course, but I'm unable to meet my usual firm scheduled release. But it's not forever, it's just for now. What have you been up to lately in your writing world, and what have you been reading? For me, I have had short batches of time to write over the past month. Most of the time, it's maybe 15 to 20 minutes. It's still better than nothing, but I'm looking forward to having more time freed up to write. I also visited the local library here, which I haven't been to in a long time because of, obvious things going on in the world. And it made me wonder, what would it be like for me to start coming once in a while to the library to write, to get me out of my usual home space? I work from home, I live at home, obviously. I'm here pretty much all the time, other than 2 days a week when I go to the city for my full-time job. Otherwise, I don't get out of the house much, so maybe changing scenery will help me get some words down. I finally made it to the beginning of our weekly Skype call with the local pro writers group this past Saturday, and we talked a lot about the first book in the Game of Thrones series. I'm reading this book currently, off and on, when I'm in the mood, and I found one thing very troubling. I can't seem to connect emotionally with any of the characters. Can I visualize the world? Yes. Do I understand what's going on in each scene? Yes. And do I find each chapter interesting? Yes. But why can't I find that deep, meaningful connection with the characters? They're well-written characters in terms of having unique personalities that don't waver, and each having unique perspectives on their world and on their lives, and they're all experiencing different things. Without a doubt, George R.R. Martin is a talented writer, and I would never want to say anything negative about his books, his publications, and his technique and his style. But for me, finding a connection with the characters in a book is very important from the start of the book. No, I don't expect it to happen within the very first page of a book, but I certainly don't want to wait until the end of the book to find that connection. So again, I ask the same question. Why can't I connect with the characters in the first Game of Thrones book? A few possibilities come to mind, but I'm really curious to hear what you think. Number 1, there are so many characters to follow, and with jumping between so many of them chapter after chapter, it doesn't leave much time to focus and connect with the characters individually this early on in the series. Number 2, the focus on the main storyline and the amazing action that happens within it reduces the focus on diving too deep into each character. Number 3, because it's a series, perhaps it was intended to slowly bring the reader into each character over time, rather than 1 or 2 characters right away. Number 4, the books were written with the intention of the series becoming a TV show, so the style of writing may be intended to draw in those in the world of television and script writing, and not necessarily for casual reading. These are just some thoughts, and I could be totally off base and completely incorrect, so if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment and share with me what you think about the Game of Thrones and why I can't connect with them. But all this being said, I'm really not trying to bash the story. I am enjoying book 1, but not as much as I have enjoyed reading other authors. I long for a book that draws me into the characters enough that I can't put the story down. If there is no connection emotionally to the characters, sometimes it's really hard for me to stay with a story. I've been reading this off and on for a month now, if not longer, maybe even 2 months, because I'm not excited to read it. I'll read a chapter or two and switch to another book, read that whole book before I go back for another chapter. But now I'm focused on trying to get through it. I'm interested in reading it, yes, but again, I'm not excited. Other books I get through within a week, even with a busy schedule. Others within a month. I should be done this book by now. But I'm hoping that the further I get into the series, the further I get into this book, the more of a connection I'll feel to the characters. Yet I fear that the characters may each be killed off before that even happens. I'm about a third of the way, if not more, into this book. And every day I hope to get more and more involved in the characters' lives and the stories. Maybe one of my difficulties is the fact that I've watched the entire TV series before I started reading this. But I knew that there would be differences. I knew that without a doubt, just like every other book that's been turned into a movie, I knew that there would be differences in this book versus the series. And that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to read this book. So, thanks for joining me today, and have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, night, or whatever, and keep reading.